Good afternoon from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas day filled with family, fun, and cheer, and lots of love and laughs. I know that our family did a lot of that. We had the whole family over on Christmas Eve and we played games, ate food, opened some gifts, and played some more games. Our family is really big on playing games when we get together, so it was a lot of fun. For Christmas this year, my husband and I spent most of the day playing the Lego Dimensions game, which we've had for years, but I don't think we've actually turned it on in probably 2 years. So we were having a lot of fun just trying to remember what all the different characters did in that game. This year I only got one Lego set, and unfortunately I did not update my Lego wish list. I ended up with a set I already had. It's just the way things go. It was my own fault, and my husband said it was the only one that was still available that was on my wish list, which was the Friends Central Perk. And I forgot to change that so that it was the Friends apartment, which is what I wanted. But, you know, those things happen. Other than that, it was a very good Christmas, and I hope yours was as well. I had all of last week off. I went to California to see a friend of mine. I actually got to go to a Lego store, which for some of you isn't a big deal, but for me it's a big deal because the closest one, I'm in Montana, and the closest one to us, as far as I know, is in Salt Lake City. When my friend said, "Oh, I think there's a Lego store at this mall," I'm like, oh my God, one, you have a mall? That's awesome. And two, there's a Lego store? I'm there. It was a really good weekend. We had a lot of fun. I came home, spent all my time prepping for Christmas, and I did not have time to come up with a new idea for my video today. So you're getting another this and that video where I'm going to be answering questions or commenting on some of the comments on my videos. Here we go. Here's the first one. Thank you for your videos. I have learned a lot from them. Just wondering, how well do your used sets sell? Thanks. Used set, we don't sell a whole lot of them. We do have a few that we've had over the years. And the sets that we sold are older ones from probably the 2000s, around that time frame. Those sell really well because they're older, they're no longer available, and if you have all the minifigures and instructions, they go really well. And I think that's the trick to selling used sets. Make sure that they're older, they're ones that are harder to find, and make sure you have all the minifigures and all of the instructions that go with it. And I think they'll sell really well. I know some of the smaller sets that we've sold have gone really well because they're usually part of a series like the Power Miners series. It really depends on what you're selling, as always, what you're selling, how much you're selling it for, and if you have all the parts to complete the set. The second one is just a comment. In a video I must have mentioned that I offer the buyers either a refund or store credit, and this is the comment on that. I will say buyers don't want store credit, and then you are forcing them to buy from your store. If something is missing from an order, I ask them if they would like a different part or a refund for that part, and then throw in some extra parts, figs, etc. in their order. Yes, I still always offer a refund or store credit. And I have to say that my regular buyers, because I have a lot of repeat buyers, will normally go with store credit because they're happy just to come back to my store again and have that little bit of credit. People who have only bought in my store once, then they usually just want a refund because they don't plan on coming back to my store. So for me, I really like to give them the option so that they have choices. Of course, I will always go with what the buyer wants. I'm not going to force them to do something they don't want to do. And I always try to work with the buyer to make sure that they are happy with the resolution that we've come up with for a missing part or for a broken part. It really depends on how you want to run your store. Obviously, this is somebody who doesn't believe that store credit is worth it. For me, when I'm offering store credit, I'm usually doubling what the refund would be. They are getting a little bit more bang for their buck if they do go with a store coupon. But like I said, it's totally up to the buyer. And as always, the whole point to Bricklink is that there are multiple stores. Everybody runs it differently, and you just have to find something that works for you as the seller or for you as the buyer. That's what's so great about Bricklink. Everybody can do their own thing, and as long as the buyer is happy in the end, we've all accomplished what we set out to do. Okay, so for the next one. Thanks for the video and the honest look at the gamble bulk lots can be. I know the feeling as you begin to see more and more non-Lego, and it's encouraging to see just how few parts can turn things around. I personally think there's something rather satisfying and possibly addictive to that first dump out and dig through, the thrill of the hunt or the agony of defeat. This was one of those that was from my bulk lot Lego haul videos. And I just want to say I started, I don't know, about 3 or 4 Lego hauls back on just pulling out parts that I thought were worth money, or I wasn't sure what they were, or I'd never had them in my store before. And I put those in Brick Store just to see how much they were selling for. And it was actually kind of exciting. Before I would go through it, pull out all the minifigs for my husband, and then just dump the parts into a box to be added to the store later. So I started to have a lot of fun with pulling out individual parts just to see what they were worth, or see what they were, or see what sets they went with. And it was very exciting, to the point now it's like I don't have room for more bulk lots, but I want to do that again. Because like he said, there is a thrill to dumping out that box and finding those special pieces or those parts that are worth a lot more money than you would have thought they would be worth. So I will continue to buy bulk, but it will be a while because I kind of ran out of space because I went through a little bit of a buying binge on eBay. So I need to really buckle down and get a lot more parts into inventory. That's my goal for the next couple of months. The next one is it worth having a stock take day once every 6 months get you and your husband to go through your entire store? No sales for one day, or not if you were okay posting a day late, to save on at least a few problems later on. I am looking at starting a Bricklink store for myself at some point over the next year, and I plan on having a down day to check my inventory, although I may decide to check X amount of numbers each week. This is a big thing for me. I really would like to do this, is just close down for a while and take inventory. One day I figured is not going to work. I figured with all the drawers, all the containers, all the boxes, every Papa Max storage thing, even if I just spent 1 or 2 minutes on each, it's going to take me probably 24 to 48 hours. And that's if I work nonstop. And who's going to do that? So I'm looking at a good week of being down to go through everything that is in my store. I would like to get to the point with the inventory that I take 1 or 2 days a month and just go through a set amount of drawers. I tried this a couple of years ago and I didn't get very far, so I feel like I'm rechecking the same drawers over and over every time I start over, because one of those people, I like to do things chronologically, so I'm always starting with drawer 1, so that's been checked numerous times. But I really do need to do this. I know I need to do this. I know that my inventory is off. I'm still not sure how it gets as far off as it does at times. I believe it's the way I'm entering it into Brick Store, and there may even be at times glitches between the upload between Brick Store and Bricklink. I do know that my inventory is off. I always spot check when we're pulling things out of a drawer, because when we print out our invoices, we always make sure that we have the current amount listed, so that if it says a small amount, we can just quickly look to make sure that that is the number of pieces that are left in the drawer. My problem usually comes when people buy me out of a certain part and I'm short 2 or 3. I don't know. I still swear that those pieces just wander off. I have no idea what happens to them, because they're in the drawer when I put them away, but they're not there later on. Yes, inventory auditing is something that I very much wanted to do, and I do want to find a way that I can audit that won't cause me to close down my store for a week, but at the same time where I can check things on a regular basis without feeling overwhelmed, because there's a lot to check. And in my store, as I've said before, I put multiple parts or multiple colors of the same part in a drawer. So you have to spend the time dividing those out and then counting all those different colors. If I had the space, like some stores do, that I'm totally jealous about, I could just put one part, one color into a drawer, but I don't have that kind of space. For me to do an audit would take quite a while because I would have to dump it out, count each color, and double check to make sure those are right. But it is on my to-do list and it's one of my goals for 2022. So we'll see how it goes. Those were 4 of the questions, but I do want to try to answer my most asked question. And I get this probably at least, I don't know, once every 2 or 3 weeks. I get the question, how much do I pay per pound for my bulk Lego? If I was just buying locally, I would tell you exactly what I'm willing to pay. But because I bid on eBay, I don't want to be bidding against people that I have told my secret to. So I will tell you this, don't pay more than you're willing to do. Don't get caught up in the bidding frenzy. I have seen bulk lots go for a ton of money and I cannot figure out why, because it doesn't look like there's anything special in it. But at the same time, I've seen bulk lots go for like $8, $9, $10 a pound, which is a lot more than I would pay. But there's usually electronics in it, or there's tracks in it for the trains, or there's almost a complete set of something that's rare, you know. So you really have to look at the pictures when you're bidding on eBay to see what is there. For me, I have scale that I use on how much I bid. If it's just plates and bricks, I'm going to go low on that scale. If it's newer parts, a wide variety of parts, minifigs, very rare parts, I'm obviously going to go higher up on that scale. And I think that people need to figure out for themselves what they're willing to pay. I will tell you this, I generally pay anywhere from $4 to $6.50 a pound. But it really depends on the bulk lot, who I'm getting it from. Do I trust these people that what's in it is supposed to be in it? If it's somebody that I've never bought from before, I'm going to go a lot lower because I don't know if they know the difference between a Mega Block and a Lego. There's a lot that goes into it when you decide to bid or buy on bulk lots. And it really is an individual thing. You have to decide what you're willing to pay and stick with it and be patient. That's the other thing. I'm not very patient. So I generally on eBay, I will figure out what I am willing to pay, put in that max amount and walk away. Because if I sit there and look at it, I will keep bidding up and I will end up paying a lot more than I want to. So I've learned to use that max bid on eBay. And it takes patience. You do get outbid quite a bit, but then every now and then you'll get lucky. It really depends on you. And that's what I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to tell you my total secret because, like I said, I don't want to be bidding against you guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it that thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.